Hello, Susanna here. I'm going to have a cup of tea after this from the Good Property Company. I just want to talk about the classic thing of leaving the day job. So I think many of us get into property for a whole bunch of reasons. For me, the primary reason was security. I have a family. I am head of household, so I need to be the person that's supporting them. Two of everything, two of the hugs, two of the responsibilities, and what does the lady in the Financial Times call them? Cost centre 1 and cost centre 2. Well, I got two of them. So for me, it was about security, it was about pension, it was about stability, and I think bricks and mortar are something that's something that's incredibly stable and that I can pass down. My daughter's already spent a year working in my business. My son's started his first day today. But the other thing is about freedom. Now, nobody is an overnight success. So this property stuff doesn't happen overnight. You actually end up working really hard. But like many of us, I had some jobs. My background is I started a fair trade chain of shops up in Scotland when I was 22, and I ran that until just before my 30th birthday. So we had a really good run of it. We did lots of festivals, lots of vans out, and I had a chain of 5 shops selling, items from third world countries that were fairly sourced. And then I went and had 4 jobs, 2 of them, and they were interspersed. I had amazing bosses. One I actually wrote to him a while ago and just said, thank you so much, you were so cool. And 2 of them, I had bosses that would make me miserable. So one was probably just less than competent, let's not be too mean about it, turn up late, leave early, take all the glory, blame everybody. The classic kind of, this is miserable, I hate this. And I remember just driving to work every day feeling grey. I really hate this. I really don't want to be doing this. I have to, because I've got responsibilities and it's my responsibility. This is a crap life. And then the other one, shall we just say the other one was an interesting character? And I remember having a conversation once where that person went, I'm going to break you down to build you right back up again. And I was like, really? Is that really necessary? Because that's not quite how I work. So it's probably not going to be the most effective thing for you to do to get the result you want. So by the time you're kind of working for somebody who's going to break you down to build you right back up again, possibly it's time to quit the day job. And I do remember travelling back from London to Bristol, like on a late train, late to see my family. It was like November, the rain was coming against the train window, and I have to tell you, thoroughly miserable. As much as it's slightly comic, my life isn't that funny right now. If this is my boss and I'm working 12 hours a day for this boss. So one of the reasons to leave a job is obviously the boss. Another one is freedom. I mean, I so enjoyed the kind of work element of most of the jobs I had, or most of the work element of most of the jobs. But there was a point, I don't know if you guys get this, at like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, I'd be like, okay, I'm no shirker, I'm an absolute grafter, but I'm kind of bored, not can I go home now because I want to stop working, but this is boring work, I'm unfulfilled. Can I go home now, or can I do something more interesting? And of course, some of the tasks I had to do were not particularly interesting. I mean, this does describe a lot of people's jobs. I'm not hugely complaining, because what I got from those jobs was really fantastic in terms of learning and skills and experience and working with really great people. But to be imprisoned in a location from, well, theoretically 9, but obviously earlier than 9 until theoretically 5, but a little bit later than 5 and often a lot longer than 5, where you can't leave because you're working there. And this isn't a space I want to be in, really. If I had the choice of what my life was going to be, I wouldn't want to be here 9 till 5, Monday to Friday, or, 8 till 6 or 8 till 7, with a boss that's going to break you down and build you back up. So I think we've all got that feeling of, hang on, this is just not quite what I'm put on the earth to do. And life is short. And why am I spending, 40 plus hours a week in an environment I'm not super keen on, with people, some will be amazing, some will not, doing work that is unfulfilling? It's crap. So just to say, I think everybody's probably had those kind of experiences, and without going into kind of massive, like, oh my goodness, property changes, well, it does change your life, but property did change my life. For me, I took 18 months where I worked full time and I did property. And I have to tell you, I was knackered. I was ill feeling, no TV, no social life, took quite a lot of risks. And I had Sunday for the family because, of course, they were old enough to be like, Mum, you're too on call. We're off with our friends on Saturday. But it only took 18 months. It really only took 18 months. And then I theoretically could have lived on that portfolio that I built from then on after. But I wanted to do more and build more. And it took a very small number of years to the point that, my monthly incomings is greater than my annual previous high-level director salary. And you're like, that's crazy. And the thing about property is, as long as they're well managed, and we actually manage my stuff in-house, but of course you can outsource it to a letting agent, that goes on infinitum. If I leave the job tomorrow and decide to, hand over my stuff to, well, I don't manage my own properties, but my team does. But if I left, if this was a job and I left tomorrow, I wouldn't get paid, no matter how crap or how happy it was. If this is a property portfolio and for whatever reason we decided to no longer manage it in-house and I went, okay, letting agent, here you go, I still get paid every single month. And it just took, it took less than the time of a degree to make that happen for the rest of my life. And I can now hand it on to the kids. Although I'm not handing anything on until they're 30 because they've got to grow and they've got to develop and they've got to find their own edges and they've got to have a bit of a struggle to form, I think. I don't want to spoil them. But I am there as an absolute backup for them, beyond belief. At the moment, I own a flat that my son lives in when he goes to college, and my daughter used to live in one of my houses as well. So all this is to say that if you hate your job, I wouldn't say hang in there. What I mean is hang in with life. There is another way. Or if you just intensely dislike being trapped in a small office space for 40 hours a week, there is another way. You will work really, really hard at the beginning, but if you look at that whole rich dad, poor dad of employed, self-employed, business owner and investor, which is basically an asset owner, you need to go through that process. And if you think about the transition between employed to investor, which is an asset owner, which is where I'm at, although I've also got a business, so I'm a business owner, you basically kind of go from employed to self-employed. Okay, you start being your own letting agent and you start buying properties, and then you likely bring in a bit of a team, so that's cool. You might have some people helping you with the lettings or with the repairs and all the rest of it. So that's moving to business owner, and then you have the choice. At the moment I choose to keep the property management in-house because I've got an amazing team, but I could easily outsource that and it really would be no problem at all. And multi-million-pound portfolio like over in the corner paying me on the first of each month. So that is going to be a transition that you're going to go through, but you can do it. There's just no doubt you can do it. And oh my goodness, do you want to be stuck in a job for the rest of your life? If you love your job, fantastic. In fact, your vocation. I enjoyed my jobs. I enjoyed many of the people I work with, but I don't want to be in four walls Monday to Friday, and I definitely don't want to have someone tell me I'm going to break you down to build you back up again and think that that's an appropriate way to behave. Can you imagine how else that person behaved? I work, there's no overnight success. We have worked hard as stink. I was at 7:30 this morning meeting with my finance director, but at 3 o'clock I went to get my hair done, and I frequently go to the gym in the daytime because being a property investor gives you that flexibility. I'm not pretending it's not hard work, and I'm definitely not saying you're not going to take risks. It's not going to be super scary. You are definitely going to have sleepless nights, because the difference is you now own the responsibility. Whereas when it was a job, do you know what? You could walk out at 5 o'clock and it was somebody else to worry about. So you are taking on some downsides to some upsides, but I would never go back. And I would urge you, with all due risk assessment, sensible approach, take your time, learn and develop, to do it. Life is short. Do you really want to be stuck in a little cubicle, in a little office? You might be in a big office, but do you know what I mean? Physically imprisoned until it's time to leave. I just hated that bit. So do it. This stuff works. I've ended up with a multi-million-pound asset that I can pass on to my kids, that I can live off for the rest of my life, and I'm having loads of fun. So it's just the best decision I ever made. Super scary though it was. So just mull things over, but please do it.